Hello, welcome. This is going to be Opus Magnum, a puzzle game from Zachtronics. Zachtronics is a pretty prolific developer who's made quite a few games with a similar structure. I'd previously played TIS 100 and really liked it a whole lot, so I wanted to try some of their other offerings and see what they're like. I played like 2 minutes of this game at a conference once, and it seemed like a pretty good time, so let's see what's going on here. This is more or less my first launch of this game. Settings, anything I need to worry about in here? Probably not. Music's a little quiet. I'm going to bump that up just a bit. Interesting that you choose this here. How odd. Okay. This sounds like something I will want. Don't know what the hotkeys are, but that definitely sounds like the kind of thing I would use. Setup is getting close to usable. That text is really small. Oh man, that is tiny. And I don't see an option for it. Okay, we're going to have to deal with very small text. That's fine. Oh boy, there's a lot of stuff here. Okay, let's not worry about that yet. Let me get into the game and see how it plays, and then I'll worry about controls and stuff. The Transmutation Engine, Transmutation Lab rules. Access is restricted to graduate-level alchemical engineering students and faculty only. Any exceptions must be approved by the Chancellor. Keep your student alchemist permit and sigil with you at all times while in the lab. No food or drink is permitted in the lab. Do not sit or lean on transmutation engines or their related components. Please keep the area clean for everyone else. That means you and Anateus, right? Anateus. That's how I'm going to say that. Anateus Vaya, alright? I don't know if that's the player character or what. Okay. Henley Servin. I'm amazed you put off learning how to use the transmutation engine for this long. I was concentrating on working by hand. You know that. Anateus, we're about to graduate. I know. That's why I need you to summarize all this for me as fast as you can. Alright. Okay, so new solution, sure. New? Open? Okay, these are reagents. They are input materials for doing alchemy. This is a product. Your job as an alchemist is to build machines that combine reagents into useful products. Okay. Alright, there's a lot of stuff on screen. Build all products. Press play to start the transmutation engine. There are instructions in here. Okay, that's step. That's execute. Okay, I see. So we got like 2 timelines here. Seems like this one's controlling, yeah, arm 2. This one's controlling arm 1. Okay. I pressed the play button. Good for me. I guess that part's done. Histograms and leaderboards not available for tutorial puzzles. Sure. All right. Understand so far? Of course. I knew this part was easy. That's why I never worried about it. I count you as a friend, Anateus, but sometimes you carry your genius alchemist act a little too far. Act? All right. Lesson arms. So let's take the first and most important part, the arm. I understand. What's next? Wait, don't rush ahead. Let me go through the material. You need to see this. Okay. So I guess it just creates a new solution for me and I open it. I don't need to create an additional one unless I want to solve the puzzle a different way. Place an arm below, setting rotation and length so the gripper is over the reagent. Then add instructions. Alright. Place an arm. How? Click. Okay, here we go. Mechanisms. 20G. I'm assuming that's like a cost of placing this, and I'm evaluated on how expensive my machine is at the end or something. Setting rotation and length so the gripper is... Oh, okay. Multi-select. Got it. Here we go. Okay, so that's how I can rotate. I think that's the reagent. So elemental salt goes to that product of elemental salt. Okay. So it seems like you're positioned there, so I'm going to want the instruction to grab, rotate, okay, so 60 degrees, 60 degrees, so that'll rotate that to here, then one more to go here, drop, and then sure, let's rotate back the other way, and presumably that will loop and do what I need. So grab, rotate, 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 drop, rotate, rotate, rotate. Alright, so I think that's what it takes to do that. And these other two are already set up as examples. Alright, created the desired products. Histograms and leaderboards not available for tutorial puzzles. Right, so arms pick up and move elemental proxies around the surface of the transmutation engine. Right, and you control their behavior with instructions. Yes, of course. Of course. Alright. So in addition to the puzzles, we have like this whole world building and story and stuff going on here. In some cases, you'll want an arm to rotate what it's gripping. You mean as opposed to the arm itself rotating? That's right. In those cases, you'll use pivot instructions. Okay. Place an arm, add instructions, pick up the reagent, move it to the product output. Alright, so I see what you're going to want here. Can I grab by either spot? Like here or here? Probably. However, okay, I see. But if I grabbed by this part, then that would not put that in the right place for the output. So I have to grab by this. Then I'm going to rotate the arm clockwise, pivot counterclockwise. And, okay, so grab, rotate clockwise. Okay, I see. There are my hotkeys. Alright, so let's try this. So I'll point here, I'll press Q. Point here, press R. No, that was E. R. And then I probably don't need to pivot the arm more. I can just rotate back. In fact, this is an example doing exactly what I'm doing here, only, slightly different. So I'll press A to insert rotate counterclockwise. Alright, let's see how that goes. Something went wrong. Did I place a drop instead of a grab? Oh, you know what went wrong? I mixed up my input and output. So let's just rotate that over here and reverse all these. So we're going to grab, rotate counterclockwise. So press D. No, I want the other one, A. Pivot the other way with E. Release, and then rotate back to the clockwise. Okay. Alright, that seems to work. I like how it speeds up after it gets going. Cool. All very straightforward and simple. How nice that this is so easy for you. Why? How long did it take you to learn all this? Let's just keep going. Alright. I don't really like the person that I'm playing as so far. A piston arm is a special kind of arm that can extend and retract. And presumably there are instructions that control the piston. That's right, I'll demonstrate. Henley seems okay. Not a patience for Anateus, even with his attitude. Place a piston arm. I wasn't listening to what was being said there. That's okay, I'll figure it out. Alright, so that can extend and retract. That's probably what he said. So piston arm, 40G. Wait, I can do what now? Oh, cool. So that extends and retracts, that rotates. Cool. Alright, so initial rotation and orientation will, extension. Rotation and extension will be that. How will you get there? You won't. Unless I can rotate in less than 60-degree increments, which I can't. No, wait, yes I will. That's directly there from there. I was looking at it wrong. Okay, so it seems pretty straightforward so far. Got extend and retract. Well, I have grab, but I don't have drop. Why don't I have drop? Drop any held items and reset to its initial... Okay, so it's forcing me not to input a drop command, because reset implies drop. Reset to its initial rotation length and position. Okay, so that means I don't have to always put in the reverse of instructions that I input to go one way. I can just have it go back to how it was. Okay, this is a very deliberately structured tutorial. So, grab, rotate, retract with S, I think. So that's going to put that there, then there, then there, and then reset. Okay. Grab, rotate, retract, reset. Cool. Now, I saw that first tutorial assembling a big complicated thing, so I'm going to be working with much more than just this soon, probably in the very next puzzle. I see, piston arms can reach areas you can't with a normal arm. That's what makes them so useful. They cost a little more than regular arms, though. And I can use the reset instruction to make an arm return to its initial state from wherever it is. That's convenient. Just remember the reset instruction takes the same amount of time it would take to issue those individual instructions. Ah, that's what that arrow down there was that I saw. Alright, so that timeline is also is to be used as a timing diagram. I'm sure that's going to be important. Well, yes, of course it will. Of course. Has he ended every one of those with... What's next? Next we have tracks, which are like paths you can place on the board. It's easier to show you. Create a track. Oh, okay. Place the arm on the track. Pick up and move. All right. Positive direction, negative direction. All the way from one to the other. All right. Arms can be placed on tracks. Got an example over here. So the... So these are highlighted between the reagent and the product. So it wants me to put this here to there. Sure. Reasonable. Yeah, to spend only 3. That's about the shortest path I can make. So this goes on the track in that no, other way. This one's the output. All right, so we just want to grab. No, that's grab. I can rotate and move along the negative direction, which is T. So you'll go there. Now my question is, does reset the track too? Probably. Let's find out. Oh, that moves in one step at a time. Alright, so that was not right. So I need 2 of these. You didn't grab. What? Was that not that? That was the drop command. Okay, so F is grab. I need to rotate more, of course. Alright, so if I want to insert an instruction just in the middle here, can I do that? Yes, I can. Neat. Well, what's all this? I guess it just filled in my reset with the opposite. Okay, got it. Alright. I see. When you place an arm on a track, the arms can move forward or backward along the path. Tracks can be quite powerful, but I'm still learning how to use them effectively in my designs. Could you put multiple arms onto a single track? I think so. I never thought to try that. I'll have to experiment later. Alright. Transmutation. To perform transmutations, we use glyphs. For example, say I want to calcify an element. You'd place a glyph of calcification on the board and move the element you want to calcify over it. Anateus! I mean, yes, that's correct, but at least let me get through the explanation first. I got all the explanation I needed. Alright. So he's going on ahead. Piston arm, glyph of calcification to turn fire atom into salt atom and move it to the product output. Okay, so now we're finally doing alchemy. So just moving it over top of that. Let's see how this works. Okay, yeah, just move it over top of it. Piston arm, sure. You want me to place that there. Okay. Glyph can go here, I guess. So yeah, glyph of calcification transmutes any of the 4 cardinal elements, air, fire, water, and earth, into a neutral salt. Alright. This is familiar sounding stuff, kind of. Here, you be there. So we're gonna grab. Oh, what counts as... Okay, sure. When you rotate there, you'll pass over this, presumably. I don't know about that. You won't exactly pass over that. You'll take kind of a, you know, a curved path like this that might well just miss that glyph. Let's find out what happens. I feel like this is the wrong place to put this. This should actually go here. But can I get away with putting it there? Like, will that pass enough over it to count? This is important information. Alright, so... D, I think. Rotate that way. Retract. And reset. Okay, that does not count as passing over it. Atoms may not collide. Okay. Alright, so this needs to actually go here, and that'll do enough. Alright, so it needs to be exactly over it. Just like passing partially over it on its circular path doesn't count. Sure? It's quite fast, this glyph. Yes, welcome to modern alchemical engineering. How many transmutations are available as glyphs? Most of the common ones so far. There's ongoing research to develop more, which you would know about if you paid any attention to recent developments in your field. Okay, so it looks like just 2 more tutorial puzzles. This must be a glyph of bonding. It is, to use it. Actually, why don't you show me how it works? Seems that's the way things are around here. Very well. Alright, the glyph of bonding is that. Okay, creates a bond between 2 atoms, after which they will move as a group. Okay, I did see that in the very first puzzle. Okay, so it looks like I can see exactly what I'm going to want here. 2 arms, one here, one here. I mean, it's not making it... Oh, actually, well, I can just do this. So 3 over here is going to grab. No, grab. Learn where the keys are on my keyboard someday. Rotate counterclockwise once. And then... Do I have a wait command? Okay, sure. I don't think I have a wait command. Maybe that'll be down here someday. I think these are going to have trouble synchronizing. Alright, so sure, you rotate. This one's going to do a similar thing. So glyph of bonding will bond those 2 together, at which point you, arm number 3, will rotate again, pivot with E, and then reset. That's the R key, that's not reset. Reset is C. How confusing. You are going to have a problem. I need you to wait. Will you actually do that, or are you going to loop? I don't know if your loop point is here or at the end of your instructions. I think it's here. So you're going to attempt to do that and then collide these here as this one's working on getting itself back to where it goes, right? Bound atoms may not be moved in 2 different directions. Okay, right, so you have to release it, for one thing. That's fine. So drop. Oh, and I didn't even reset you. That's fine. Like, I'm thinking 4 is going to need to waste some time. Instead of resetting it, let's just put in the rotation back to there. It does wait. Okay, so everybody loops at the same point, so I don't have to insert wait instructions to synchronize. It just does it for me. Alright, so once it completes a loop, then they start from the beginning of their instructions. Alright. Works for me. The transmutation engine makes alchemical engineering far simpler. You could have been using it the whole time. But I'm glad I did things the hard way for so long. I hope you're not like this in real life, Anateus. But this is real life. Alright then. Stabilized water. I think that's everything you need to know to use the transmutation engine effectively. I'll make one more product to make sure I get it. So he's been doing, like, alchemical transmutations by hand, I guess, instead of using his machines. Panning and scrolling. Okay, sure. Works for me. So I can scroll vertically with the scroll wheel, except it's not doing anything. Well, I'm rolling it. It's nothing's happening. Okay. Place products and reagents on your own. Top of your toolbox. Alright. Products. Stabilized water. So I want neutral salt and elemental water bonded together in that orientation. Okay. And I'm making up the everything. Ooh. Okay, so arms with multiple thingies. So, are there inputs and outputs here somewhere, or is that something I can place? Oh man, is this just like an infinite grid? Seems like it's. Alright, cool. Huh. Okay. Oh boy. Alright, so we're gonna be... So we got like life and death here in addition to the 4 elements and neutral. And some metallic elements. Everything around us is made from combinations of a small number of underlying elements. By studying these elements and their transmutations, the alchemist learns to understand the workings of the universe itself. Asmodeus II. Extra tiny text. Man, this is kind of a problem throughout. Like, this text is really small, so I feel the need to read pretty much everything because I assume at many common video watch sizes they will just not be visible at all. Okay, so there's a repeat instruction. What? Period override instruction. When starting the transmutation engine, all instruction sequences are automatically padded so they have the same period as the longest instruction sequence in the solution, which ensures that all arms are kept in sync. I discovered that last time. By placing a period override instruction at the end of an instruction sequence, the period of the solution can be artificially increased. This is rarely necessary, but can be useful if a solution is repeating too quickly, causing collisions or other conflicts. Can't think of when that would cause a collision, but I assume I'll run into a case where that's true someday. Alright, fair enough. No, I can kind of imagine that. Okay, so I've seen all these. How do I... Oh, wait a second. Here we go. That's something. Glyph of bonding, glyph of multi-bonding, glyph of unbonding, so that exists. I can place this. That's the output slot. Okay, it's not that complicated. Got it. Alright, so just make up my own machine. I'm going to put that there. Alright, so this will keep things pretty simple and symmetrical. So glyph of calcification. arm. Alright, so arm number 1 will grab, rotate. No, that's release. I keep confusing those two. So grab, rotate counterclockwise, rotate counterclockwise, reset. Arm 2 is going to do the same, but in the other direction. I could make it exactly the same by placing it there, but I guess I prefer symmetry up here to symmetry down there. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Alright, so that should work, right? Nope. Alright, so problem is that the output is supposed to be bonded, and these are currently not. So I need to move this around, put a glyph of bonding there. Can I rotate you? Probably. Sure. So then arm number 1 needs to just continue rotating, really. With A, put that before the reset, and everything should pretty much work, right? Yep. Okay, so this is neat how I kind of lay out my own space. I guess I did the most common solution, unsurprising. It can be optimized further. So yeah, this is what I was talking about with like common structure between Zachtronics games. You get these histograms are sort of their signature. So I get to compare against all the other players who solved this puzzle and try to compete with them for, you know, things. Or just do the most common solution and be happy with it. Or just do whatever the heck works. That's kind of what I did in TIS 100. I rarely came back to optimize stuff. And I can record a GIF if I want. Okay. That's cool. So what are your plans after you graduate? I think I'll be a head alchemist for one of the August houses. That's bold, right out of school? Why not? True enough, no ambition could be too great for you. And yourself? I like it here. I think I'll stick around and hopefully become a professor. You do seem to have an affinity for teaching. Think so? Well then, may each of us realize his Opus Magnum. Okay, is that what the title is about? Opus Magnum. I've always found that to be a rather pretentious term. You're one to talk. But I agree with the sentiment, at least. Why are you laughing? Anateus Vaya found something pretentious. Tell me more. Alright. Cool. House Ventassen. Okay, I see. So this was... are these locations? Imperial University. Alright, so Anateus is out of his university then, I guess. Life in a Great House. Sure, okay. Well, let's save that for another day. So it looks like 5 proper chapters. Don't know what this symbol means. Can't really parse it from here. What's this? Journal. Experiments described in Journal of Alchemical Engineering are advanced research products conducted by prominent alchemists at the university. We advise completing the first few chapters of the Opus Magnum campaign before attempting to replicate them. Alright, so we got like in-universe lore here, kind of. And then like, hey, player, you probably don't want to look at this yet. Got it. Alright. So complete a few chapters before looking at the journal. There's also a puzzle editor. Cool. Good to know. And this is just settings and stuff. Alright, cool. So yeah, gonna be real curious to see how this gets more complicated as it goes on, because all of that was pretty elementary, but I mean, it was a tutorial, so what do you expect? Alright, see you next time for perhaps first real puzzle.